Hello, you're very welcome to Croke Park for this afternoon's All-Ireland football semi-finals. And you know, I have to tell you, it seems strange to be standing here again today after yesterday's Leinster final. Woke up this morning and said it must be Monday. We did all this yesterday. Well, if you ever needed an enticement to come to Croke Park, what better one than today? The prospect of Kerry and Down in the senior semi-final later on, their first championship meeting since 1968. We look forward to that, but right now coming up is the minor match between Donegal and the men from Cork. Now, before we go to that game, let me give you the result of the minor hurling semi-final of earlier. Kilkenny played Derry in that and beat them by 15 points to 2-6, so it was much closer than a lot of people thought. However, they're ready to begin the minor match, the first of the semi-finals in the minor division. Our commentators on this one are Micheál O'Shea, and joining him, a man you better know as a hurler and hurling commentator, but also won medals at under-21 level in football. That's Donal O'Grady.
Gwna mahagut agus tawn da irin bord ke fydyn chorcwi agus fydyn Donegal siahid fydyn chorcwi agus iad analádir fad anafwcwa hiri le gachwlin y gref o hwn o mwn blian o corcwrain et son amani a hagimmer glishna manŵr le chedit bliana agus on vert la Parkinson bachna o Cloyn agus Padrig o Hegerstig bert gan o fwr agus bert an y et fad agus siahid inish fydyn Donegal ddefel on bord fydyn Donegal fili corcwi canas y blian meidi cochtaw cwg agus rymishin a chael y glwhil canas y blian meidi cweg y she agus iad sŵd y sŵl gwneud o glwho dol chofada le tref na heirin don gyd o'r rif agus on glwhil cosna he agus corcwig o'n sa'i e gimmert y maig na gwyhi sy'n cydla agus mi hystach yn son gyda siosig o clefonig dar y fwyr chi chwlin y maig hiri Chikin de Cholini o Hicken Sera iad Ili agus Henig a Hokig an Hicksair Weltige Istach a Jo Emil de Carnoige agus Kalish Dientet Holo David o Vidoid agus sé Dara o Dúlain an Lawn Foley o Vundórain a Hokig an Council Ford na Guihige, Machtalá Park anna Framúge Padrig o Hegerstig, de mar sé siúd aus a greif na mún. Agus Chance an son ige Damien o David, Stachgadín Gúlbáide, adat ná o Doherstig. Helm Ard, vi sé Febrú, agus Marshall, kick Teblini, the Horpig.
Well, that was good pressure there from the Cork forwards, Micheál. The Donegal keeper, Ewan Doherty, was left with no option but just to belt it out over the sideline, and Cork can come back now and pressurise Donegal again in the early seconds. That's important.
Agus Shohe, Padrig o Mahona, Paris Goral, Chulin, and Ikeri, a grab the moon, a reached Iadeli, or Hickenas, Sarah, and Council, well to go hold again. A Mahanishkiri, Padrig o Hegerstig, Lord Macuolo, and a Busna Lahoil, agus well to Stahajo, and Mother Carnoga, chancing a Polo Ruick, take a son to me cast, Dunley and Thorn and son, on me all Lesharonal.
Well, on the Anshin, Micheál, but Paul O'Rourke was left completely unmarked there by his cornerback, who expected to keep it to field that one, and I think that was a glorious chance missed by Cork.
Agus Marshin, Kikimach, the Adavnon, o Doherstig, o Pobble Skull, Cluckinela, Agus Besheshud, Ogerisht, and Danger Huin, Locht and Tappy de Hoida. O Huish Vows took a higget, Roy Bidisa, Dimmer Shade out, again in Vermanach, as again in Havoin. Agus went to Machkari, Fach no Kiloin, Fab Moore Train, or Renahe Eilein, agus finish, chance again Corpig, chance, and son, went to a Pivino Harachtain, Harrishan Brasnon, Paravi Gimmer, Mar Lantasach, and I game, Lantasach Loshley, and I carry a Mohinish, Edigoinik, Pivino Harachtain, agus and hit score, I'm Shihige, the Corpig.
Well, that was an important score because Cork had all the pressure for the early minutes, and it just reflects their superiority at this stage, playing against the breeze.
Then you're on Google, a gamer like Guidance Spelling of Horpy, a wake, Trade the Hayden, Agus Shahe, Higo Golinche, went to Giddy, an own Giddy, Padrig Mahona, Agus Chancing at Padrig, and Tarna Colleen, and Padrig Mahona.
Lovely run there by Paddy O'Mahony from Ballincollig in Cork. Lovely run, and he finished very well.
Well, Ronald Nilmehe 18 Matei, Agus Score Factor on Immert, Ege, Corpig Hanahain, Agus Nivoda, Score, Rochulin on Immert, and Ikeri.
Well, in Team Napton Shinmi Hall, because it must have been worrying for the Cork selectors that they could only get 2 scores from play against Kerry in the Munster final, and that will be very heartening to them and to the team.
agus Corcaigh i dhéanamh ás a lá páirce, bach nó cileáin. Bachna a ríist, go dtíana cholachaí, Pádraig ó Héigeartaigh, ar anna chéana é seo. Agus seansan is ige Pól ó Ruaig, seansar Cholín. Stig sa cear nóig an Baltasan a bhí Caoimhín ó Harachtáin agus mar sin cic amach do Rúnanáil. Bhfuilte ige Adamnáin ó do Chorcaigh, mach anson, go dtí Lord Macúla do Chorcaigh. Agus Corcaigh i dhéanamh bhaid níos fearr, ní Donegal sa chuirte síos fósach seo, Padar McKinley os na Calabeaga. A ríist chaig ó gólínse, Róbha an son, do Hónal ó Bogaigh. Corcaigh is síorún saí agus seo Seán de Barróid, seansaige Pól. Anna Hábháil an son ón Gúlbáide, Cholín, Anna Hábháil ó Adamnáin ó do Chorcaigh agus Seán de Barróid a bhfuil an kick a Rónal.
An excellent shot there from Sean Barrett from Mill Street, and an excellent save by Ewan Doherty. A great save because Cork are really dominating the game. Their two midfielders, Pat Hegarty and Faulkner Collins, and their half-back line, particularly John McCullough, playing very well, and they're delivering in very good low ball, fast ball to the Cork forwards, and Donegal are under tremendous pressure. But it's very early days yet, Micheál.
Adamnáin ó Doherty, bhí sé siúd ginn sé Anna Slí Hábháil in aig Armanach agus Anna Á Hábháil in aig a Chobáin. Ní raibh éon Hábháil é déanamh in aig Híróin. Ach déanta go maga dísaige agus inis seohiad tíad chunal ar an ónsaí. Marcus ó Buil an Parachuide Cholín a bhuaige chluthe in aig Híróin. Ach lán Cholaí Chorcaigh, Brian ó Porcaráin agus é sin gafa go mac ige Brian dar nó ó Rá Éireann an tarsa gimmert le amánathe Chorcaigh le chéad bliana hónan.
Yes, a very strong player, very big, very fast and very strong, and that was silly there from James Rowan because it was the first chance that Donegal had to put the Cork defence under pressure, and just gives a long free now to the goalkeeper Kevin Dwyer to relieve Cork's pressure.
Caoimhín ó Díos Cúlbáide sínsir do Donovan Rossa agus seohé a Hara blian sa minúdige. Bhí sé le minúd Chorcaigh in nidig chomma ach an count san bhfuilte go holpaige Hara sé déh líine. Bhfuilte go tappaigh isteachige Donegal go dtí Seamus ó Ruáin, i mithe bhfuil siúd agus creamaigh Eileen McCorrick, captain na fórna go dtí Pádraig ó Héigeartaigh, Pádraig go dtí Pádaí ó Mahóna. Pádaí déirigh í chur go dtí Seosamh ó Caomhánaigh, Coimar twaithaige Corcaigh inis. Agus iarachtaige Déagláin ó Buil i ré Stoppenson. Agus Déagláin agus Kicksair gnóthaige bhfuilte go tappaigh Seamus ó Ruáin. Róada go Seamus Harris an líne et fórí. Déagláin ó Buil a lár páirceos na Calabeaga, Jehoire siúd a bhach ó Buil an captain a há gimmert na letasathe i réim na live edition.
Well, Cork are having the better of things, Micheál, so far. Their midfield are still dominating and they're giving good low ball to the players, good combination. But as I said earlier, it is early days yet. 3 points to nil for Cork.
Agus Corcaigh i gimmert a grinneamh na bhíthe sa chéadla. Seohé Caoimhín ó Díos. Agus creamaithe go deas an sonnaigh Lord Macúla. I chosan go maghóibh. Isteach go dtí Caoimhín ó Harachtáin, seohé Caoimhín. I mithe bhuaig agus buinte go thuige Déagláin ó Buil a teachta gabhad an sonnaid Caoimhín ó Harachtáin. Caoimhín ó Harachtáin, ceannsúna caide go deas. Agus Palais déanta stig an sonnaige Pól ó Davididirn. Mar sin Kicksair de Chorcaigh agus de Pádraig ó Mahóna. Pádraig ag nóthaigh chuig Cholín ó Chican na Saire ag réamh na mún a naid Chiarí, tá Cholín aimsithe ó nimmert go dísaige. In aid óglis inis an countachar Harris a drasnáin agus chiidir Cholíní a chur idir na fórna, 7 nómatí ghuiile imar a mithe. Bhfuilte go deasaige Harris a drasnáin.
Colleen Gloit and Chinno, Pádraig Mahóna, Micheál, and it was from the right side for a right-footed kicker really, so it was an easy enough chance for him, and having put the point over earlier from play, that would have given him a lot of confidence.
Pádraig ó Mahóna a bhfuilin léana Yesóig agus na Chican na Saire agus Seosamh ó Caomhánaigh a bhfuilin léana Citóigéir. Seohé taigh ó gólínse. Creamaithe Caoimhín McCaitigáin, Caoimhín McCaitigáin ón Darmon go híad chunil. Híad chunil chuir na Brian ó Porcaráin a ríist fear anna láidir. Creamaithe go deasaige agus bhfuilteach go dtí Eileen McCorrick ó réna Hinímó. Eileen go dtí Pádraig Ó Hagórstig ar a sétre gáilach go dtí Pádraig Ó Mahona. An choimert go léir a dhéanamh go deas agus na Corcaí go dtí sa eis go dtí Pádraig Ó Hagórstig. Ó Hagórstig amach leis I midín sé seo leis sínsir chaidibre. Taig McCorrig I chuman. Úteisteach agus Padar McInley I ddéirigh I Bhólanson go dtí Polo Callachain. Polo Callachain os na Calabeaga. Últig a siúd a ríist cosantóidí Corcaí I dhéanamh I aus. Amach go dtí Marcus Ó Sullivan Bontasach. Mohallahar páis ginis agus a tuair na caiide leis go deas. An an bhachgáil rómhain échar I Donegal go dtí agus anna scópa thuirt a Marcus Ó Sullivan agus sin cúlín thuirigh misneach na Corcaí.
A lovely run by Mark O'Sullivan from Newmarket in Cork, and he has been switched out to centre forward because Joe Kavanagh injured himself in a very early tackle and has moved to full forward. It's said to give him a rest, but that was a very good run by Mark. But really, he wasn't tackled or he wasn't put under any pressure by the Donegal backs.
Anna scoop gléid fachtan sunna Marcus Ó Sullivan a gimmert ar a nachat slatanis agus a gaméine go cosantóidí hí chunal se he Pádraig Ó Mahona. Pádraig Ó Mahona agus kick séir nó hige do Corcaí. Milín sé seo le chuireann idir bheánach. Bhail an cholaigh ach sé Eileen McCorrig I hópaigh an kick séir agus an bholtóid inis chuin an chaide chahab an áirde. Stemma he go deas an sunna go Donal Ó Bogaigh bhealach seannig drochiigh sára he go neapaisiach ag glód McCóla fearach cosan deanamh do Corcaí. Eileen agus taig O'Golín agus Eileen McCorrig na lechúil I dhéanamh I aus go dtí sa. Anis seo na Conalaigh agus Ronan McLaughlin. Bhfuilte go siúd go dtí Damien O'David. Damien O'David I dhéanamh I bhla go dtí sémas óáine bhíanamh Corcrán rómhacha go dtí Marcus Ó Sullivan agus Marcus a ríist agus chalais dianta go Pibín Macaite gáinir. Leis agus dénómatí imar a mithe, Corcaí gimmert a gine na ghuithe, na húnsaithe go léir, a teachtó Corcaí go dtí sa agus seo ceanna le fósacha. An lán cholaíonn san híd chumil bara ó dúláin, ó bundóráin, blána na caideach. Agus dis inis go tír chumil Marcus Ó Buin, agus bíad na caidisteach go dtí Eamon McManman, seansa go Eamon McManman, an bhfuil tá an chéad cholín aimsithe Eamon McManman.
That was really the first attack that Donegal made with any purpose, and that was a very good point by Eamon McMillan. Came across well into space to receive the ball and had a great score. That might settle Donegal down now because Cork were really on top all over the field, and that'll give them a little bit of heart.
Eamon Hudson ó Chuman Sean Vicúil na Colombo an attack ahead of ball mar on a dí sa dá chluidir nach stólium agus an Counson an chéad scór aimse hige de híd chunid. Híd chunid chéad cúlíní chun déidig inis agus a rís fach nó cleáin I gairí go háard ar an a láidir ar an a séan har nasgrín gaptaín Eileen McCorrig agus kick taobh líne do Corcaí agus do Eileen McCorrig. So hé Sean de Baróid Silibh na caide ó ráide bhfuilinn Sean bhfuilteisteach agus Pibín Ó Harachtáin a dul a tóid go dtí Pádraig Ó Mahona. Pádraig Ó Mahona agus an tíú cholín aimse hige do Corcaí.
Lovely combination there between Kevin Harrington and Paddy O'Mahony, and Cork's midfield and half forwards are really shoving in lovely low ball to their forwards, giving them all the advantage, and at this stage Cork are well on top.
Well, fuireann an a láidir go Corcaí iad a dhéanamh ar aus go dtí agus éon uidir bháin a bhfuil tíad chuna leotha a gréibh le ceanist na héireann hana héin sa bliana an 9 agus bhuaigh Corcaí an Baltason. Seo hé glód McCóla agus a rís Sean de Baróid agus gan éon in néchar timppla a tríochar sin do scópálaigh agus ní fóilge a chaon stróid cholín a gáil. Cholín eile agus Sean de Baróid.
Yeah, well, Colleen Bra simply reached and Shinnig Sean de Baróid took the ball nicely from Mark O'Sullivan, who's having a big impact on the match since he moved to centre forward, knocked on a lovely ball there, and Sean Barrett took a nice simple score. Rather be tempted to having a shot for the goal, he just tapped it over from the 14. Excellent score again.
agus Seán going an gúidir de ar an chorcaí a dhéimar le gairimscoil na chorcaí a bhfuid craibh na héidir níos túiscim léana dar nótá cearracha ó chuman na facht an sciberín a bhfuid craibh na héidir chuma agus seohé gidóid mac cóla ar a bheith óhin a ríise bhéinte chún builte stacha dímal na cearnóig an baltasa dara ó dúláin i sellih agus a glána a híd chonel. Ach a cosint taig ógólaínse na chorcaig agus well, halíis diantan sanir ach a nimmert I leanúnte raig agus skippa he gland an dalom an sun ag e pól ó Calacháin I dhéirn, no, well. Moltóid agus spec focail ige I dhéirn. Donal ó bogig, pól ó Calacháin. Had I dhéananig an moltóid, stoilm, sugur kickséir de chorcaig I bheith gaun. Seagad ein, mar skip pól ó Calacháin an hatchin gland an dalom agus seo chorcaig. An únsaí. Sárathe agus blanta amach inis go dtí déagláin ó buil. Déagláin agus I bhuilte stechan san aige go dtí Rónán McLaughlin, seans aige tír chonel, Rónán an tabla scór a gáil, Rónán go hís an anna háil aige Píhín ó buil. Go dtí Brian ó Corcráin. Brian ó Corcráin amach go dtí taig ó gólaínse. Taig go dtí gród Macóla. Macóla iarach sárathe, an tabla báta, agus seohé, Corcaig a ríist agus Donal ó Calacháin. Donal. Tír chonel ag an únsínis, déagláin ó buil agus an moltóid bhuilte bhíosta tóid ag déagláin ó buil agus caithfidh an moltóid a chaitse an áard a Rónal.
Well, Tubbers too fast against Shinta Donegal, but Donegal have come into the game in the last couple of minutes.
And Rónán McLaughlin agus mar a déir Donal Donegal a déanamh níos fearr inis le Camelín beag an nuas na mar a bhíad a rimise sa chluthe. Dúiseacht beag diantacha Rónán McLaughlin an son meachtasteach agus palíis diantaid agus sé Donal ó bogig a gimmartir na hat slaat de hoog an count so éarú bhí láth seannig an persa ar mór láidir I gimmer le deile sail bhí láth seannig í rútín gosta hin is tuiscim léanach ag cachgalóir inis. Donal ó hógan na sércícanna agus an count an bhuilte go maithige.
That was a fine score really from Donal Buggy, and Donegal need to come back now and put another few scores on the board here because they've begun to take the ball early and run at the Cork half back line, and I think that it's working a little bit. It's proving a bit more dividend than the long ball that they played in early on. Hopefully now we'll have a very good match.
Marsin Donegal cúcúlíní chandérig agus córnagaí hicus a chéadhe go héir Píhín ó dís. O dyna fan Rossa a chuman súd, bhfuilte amach go maithige agus a rís Corcaig a bhadró séan a lápáitce do Donegal an baltasan ó hégartig, bhfuilte steach a siúd go dtí Píhín ó Harachtáin, seansa go Píhín ar scór a gáilecha sa háil bhaith dianta an son ar dúisig an lán cholaí dar ó dúláin agus an son adamnán ó dothirtig agus éfeh rú gur amach haris a déhlínige. Ach Píhín ó Harachtáin, thug sé fé chóla gáilech se hé, pacht nó cileáin. Bhuilte steach agus seachún tír chonel le teachtar eis, déagláin ó buil, bhuilte go siúd go dtí Damien ó Divir, seohé Damien an mecholaí agus mechlis go des agus palíis dianta Damien an baltasan ige Pádraig ó Hégarstig. Mar sin, tír chonel, mar a bhí Donal rá teachtar neis sa chluthe agus an bhearna achún gúco.
The one point that would make me horn about Cork midfielders who have been very dominant up to now is that they're not that speedy around the field and they should deliver the ball when they get it. They're inclined to run into half-forward positions now and they're exposing themselves then midfield to get back, and Donegal bit by bit are coming back onto the field.
Seohé Donal ó bogig, córnagaí hiige agus sanna kick go dtí hábhadín róada ar héir na lábh lé agus ní raibh an tá an baltasan le Donal a hógan na sércícanna do hír chonel. Ar mór láidir gimmartir na hatspátach taig ó gólaínse agus rána him mar a géidirn Donal sa chiad chearú an immarsteach go háirithe. Timpolé trí námatí díag imar a mithe agus córnagaíthe ige tír chonel. Agus a ríiste stris a dhéanamh ag lárbáide, lápáitce chorcaí an son annachchaid sellibhe a bhuachtainte go an baltasan pacht nó cleáin gur amach haris a déhlínige. Píhín ó Calacháin hócaig an countsa, os na dúnta an persa. Bhuilte steach go deas aige. bhfuil Cork alís déanta bhachtas ó buin, captain na fórna os na Calabioga, agus mar sin seansaige Donal ó Bogaig, an hearna a leidú, tá chúd cúlíní idir na fórna láthart na huiide, an countsa crin díireach a láslí, ceap na bechéan stró Honal le cór na gaithe, an countsa chur haris a drasnáin. Donal agus an tíú cúlín go hír chonel, mar sin cire cúlíní idir na fórna a Honal.
That was important there, Naomi Hall, because he just had missed one earlier, and Donegal coming back into the game, they need to take the scores and keep the ball in play and put pressure on the Cork defence. And every chance they get, they must either pay dividends for them by getting scores and at least keeping it in play, putting pressure on the Cork defence, and bit by bit come back into it and see what Cork are made of at the back.
Mar sin, éonó matíag fócas a chéadle, agus a ríist Corpaig agus an uachtar glána go lápáirce páda go héigeirtaigh an Baltasan, bhailteisteach go páda go dtí Pólóruid go chlána gael, Shelib na caide, a bhólaisteach go deas a cha sárahisteigh an Baltasan, ag dara ó dúláin, an lán chólaí, bhailte go dtí an deasach an báirce sin, agus gan ein stró, an Baltasan ar bhíon ó Corcaráin a chalís déanta ar bhríon na níis. Bríon ha gimmert den 10 bliana sa chéide le Teledóidí Corpaí. Céir bliana déanta leis na hamána hiige agus ard hamánaí ach seo he machtas ó súlaháin. Ná raibh gimmert an ag chéirí i gíl árne, bhailteisteach go dtí seosa go chéhánig tá buit ar siúd agus seachún Donegal agus déagláin ó Bail, fear na Galabeaga, trúch na caide leis, a dhéirigh tír chuna le chaidir in ionsaí. Seo seansan is ige Cornelius O'Brien a dhéireach súd, sára go deasansan. Agus bhaintamach ige Donal ó Calacháin amach haris a daobh líne. Mar sin kick taobh líne do Donegal.
Cork are coming under more pressure now, Michal, because this wouldn't have happened at the beginning of the match. They've hit 2 or 3 clearances out over the line, which shows the amount of pressure that they're under now at the moment.
Run on, agus buite go siúd go dtí Donal ó Bogaig agus seansar scores, cúlín eile Donal ó Bogaig.
Lovely skill there by Donal Buggy. Lovely turn and just chipped it over the bar with a side foot. Lovely score.
Mar sin an chomháin idir na fórna inis agus timppla méómatí i g Donegal chun an bearna a leidú agus bhfuil chun déige thoisiad le cór na gaithe a lofa agus ceapta i bhechan cín ach réidir chéile tá slí a dhéanamh par neiste chluthe i g Donegal. Agus annach bháin an sanna g Donal ó Bogaig agus hénig i hópaig an kicksair. Cúlú siar go ma. Well, a nachad slap, húg féidir is dahad amach, a dynach o chalai sér, agus bhailte roiada a héna láimid is sig béidir gomach sé níos céalmhúrig an count na ball on Dala bhónil.
Well, the team lot and shin Michal, because it's far more accurate to strike the ball with the wind, particularly from the ground, and I was amazed at that decision, having pointed a couple of good scores earlier on off the ground from around the same distance. I thought he'd put it down and take his time and steady himself and go for the chip over point. That must count as a bad miss now for Donegal.
So he, Pidino Dweud. A gimmert gan tarna blian leis na manúid agus Eileen McCorrick. Dhéireach súd sáirithe. Tusa he híon chonel. A dhéanamh níos fearranis. An únsaí an Baltasan dóibh. Machtas ó buin ach bhailte ábríonn roiada ar héana láimid is sin. Machtas ó buin a fuidir cúlín a bhuaig a chluthe ar híróin a gréibh ceanna seola. Ach ní raibh atá leis an Baltasan. Ó héigeirtaigh ag deamúna caide go maic san de Chorpaig agus siúr nó cehar timppla kicksair nó hé ag páda go héigeirtaigh. Agus caig ó gólínse chun in count a hógant.
Pat Hagerty and Faulkner Collins are such fine fielders in the middle of the field for Cork that I think Donegal will have to start to try and get up and break the ball, especially here when Cork are playing against the breeze. It may be a tactic that might break things up for them and give their half forwards a little bit extra ball.
Cór leis a láthar na huiide a chur ar fádraigh go héigeirteach ní dul bhfuil sé ról seo Damien O'David agus an chaid chur amach thar sé David ag sné fádraigh go héigeirteach an fear go raibh cór leis a churis tá fuil rón leis dhéan agus é sin cinnta go deasa go Rónán McLaughlin Dí Marcus O'Brien go dtíana nach thar déad láin O'Brien i dtí thar a chuis a chuimar go deas agus é sin cinnta go mac go déad láin agus sin níos fá fós agus seans a tún inis agus simas ó Róáin seans ar scór annach go híar a chuhémas ó Róáin a Ónal.
Well, Donegal did everything right. They parted well with the ball, got the player James Ryan into a good scoring position, and then he came across the ball and sliced it away off with his right foot. But that must count as an excellent chance again spurned by Donegal.
Mar sin cúpla deis bha scórála chur a mú ige tír chonel sa chlutha go dísa agus seo hé cuihín ó daoid agus an moltóid mí hástal ar a daiganta san an adóg séti agus don bhfuil an daoid teachtar a bart de chorpaig agus gur bé sin Donal O'Mahona teachtar a bart agus seosa bheoh chuhánig i gmecht an bart sin ahrú ar an chorpaí hóna.
Well, Joe Kavanagh got in the second of the match, was involved in a tackle and he got injured. I think there's a calf muscle or maybe a groin strain. And he was really ineffective up to then. Cork were effectively playing with 14 men for the rest of the game, and I think that was maybe not before time that he was substituted.
Marsin sin ó matí fácas a chéad le agus ahrú déanta go Corpaig. Agus a rís fachná cleáin annach leamúid fat sa maiar déantaige bet chorpaí lápáirce bhain há siad mór, há siad tréan, há siad láidir agus há siad reáut san maiar. Agus cic séir brodtha in san ag fachná cleáin do Chorpaig. Fachna ag imiríon le sóisiir réanathe eileáin agus dimar sé le na fachna an sciberín a bhuaig chréibh na héireann is túiscim léana. Díadh mar dhéimiid pádraigh go héigeirteach ag seothe ar an ónsaí Rónán McLaughlin cartha déanamh go maith le déanú amatí go dtí Marcus O'Brien seothe Marcus a bholasteach an san go dtí Donal O'Bogaigh seansar scóra go Donal a meachtasteach a dúra sé fiscal fe chól chana dhéana sé a míle bhá kick éirice go Donal O'Bogaigh agus seothe béidir an seansar í chastála hí chunil go dtí sa Ónal.
Well, this is very important. A great drive by Donal O'Bogaigh. Great play from Donegal from a badly taken free by Tygo Lynch. Now
Marsin deisige tír chonel agus a sé Marcus O'Brien os na Calabiogo a ha gimmert le minúid tír chonel den dríú blian a hócaigh an count captain agus bhí sé seoir out ar fad be sára miúir na fórne a naig tíróin agus a naig ar manach a naid óglis na fórne chuir scóil se hema go bóla na caide go hí sé legus cóil deisige
great score, down very low, reminiscent of Brian Stafford's penalty against Dublin in one of the earlier matches. Kept it down very low and slipped it away to the right. All position, no power there really, good goal. And scored one against Tyrone in the Ulster final to bring him back into the match. And now Donegal are back in level with Cork and we should see a rip-roaring game.
Agus sé mar dir Donal be Marcus O'Brien fuid Colleen na bua a naig céad chonel a naig híróin se héad Corpaig a teachtar nas go lua. Bóla na caidisteach pádraigh go manú Paulo Ruiz tipithe ar fól agus an chaid deamathe go deasa go lán cholaí dara ó dúláin a dearg í bhóla go dtí Donal O'Bogaigh. Bhíon deirsa an báit agus seachún tíad chonel bhismisnig in isise go Eamon McManman Stechan son agus anna dheartaige Cornelius O'Brien a cóilbáid ag aus an son go bhí nódaí has sí caiint a ríistige agus seothe Brianna Corcoráin i cosinte san do Chorpaig amach go dtí Eileen McCarrig roinnt an áile Corpaig an san na Ónal.
Well, very lucky because Kevin Dwyer seemed to have the ball in his grasp and just lost it, and Corny Brennan, the Donegal player, just lost his footing.
Well, an mí áile tír chonel agus roinnt an áile Corpaig an san agus seothe a ríiste a bólasteach na caiid an san Cornelius O'Brien. And
that was a great score from the penalty. Look how far out the keeper is.
Inis fachna ó Cleáin an padlá páitce agus chalís dientar cic séir nóthaí ag siúd a Chorpaig.
Just reflecting on that penalty, Micheál, it's very difficult to score for a penalty in Gaelic football, and when the keeper comes out that far to narrow the angle, it is very difficult indeed. which is illegal by the way, but he got away with it there, but the Donegal man placed it very well to his right.
Pádraig go mahóna leis ag sair agus bhfuilte isteach Léana Horan an son ag Marcus O'Sullivan a Harris an líne seachrán. Marcus hosnig mar lánta sacha hági mar tinis ar hat flat agus sé Phoebe nó Harachtain an tarvi mar lánta sacha lá slí an ag hirí greibh na mún a imihisteach a lá slí inis choma. O do horstig y bol yn y caid amach agus sychiad meinti hir chonel yn parir yn hat flat Donlo bogig yn chaid bynt o hig y caig o gol einsio caig o gyda Pádraig o Hegarty gyda Eileen McCorrick agus eisiau dianta gyda asyn synig Damien O'Dean Palais diantar teist yn chaid efo bwyltige agus marsin o'n ynad yn yr hwling sheet kick sair dy hir chonel.
Well, Donegal have taken over completely now, and Cork haven't scored for about 10 minutes, and they badly need a score to keep themselves in touch here, because Donegal are rampant all over the field, and it's a critical time of the match, just coming up to half time, and if Donegal could score again, well, it would put the pressure on Cork for the second half.
Leno met no marsin Pádraig O'Honell is dacht die eenmaal de Carnoig agus iad de stikste Carnoig en Baltason marsin tussen he het O'Honell is dikke Carnoig Chorcaí marsin kikke macha ha aan de Chorcaí. Agus mar a bhí Donal ará sin in recht leómat nó marsin de lehama na hórnar cóscór héna ceirige Donegal seach gúlíní go corpaige ach cór na gaithe I get tír O'Honell sa chéad le.
Well, Donegal players just at the square infringement there. Very little in it, but Brian Cochran was in command, and Donal O'Callaghan. Here come Cork again.
Corpaige ríiste agus an Baltasa Gerard McCullough agur an saí buirteisteige gníis goí Phoebe nó Harachtain a láslí inis agus seansar scór a drochiarach dó Phoebe bhí sé féhrú ábhín an Baltasan Phoebe ó Harachtain a dhimidíon le idir bheánach le cuman bhean trí agus ghaine an gúgur a bhí gimmar le gaidim scoile na Chorcaí a bhuaig creibh na héireann níos túisce im léana. Townsend bwyd go hísio agus go holc fachta an son gan ein stróge Marcus O'Sullivan is dachri Pádraig o mahona chancer scór ach roade heb na láve clé. Áirecht gur a múge Corpaige O'Honell.
Well, two good chances there sent astray by Cork, and it just shows the degree of pressure that they are now coming under from Donegal. They put away a chance like that in the first 5 minutes, but Donegal are beginning to contest every ball now, and really Cork aren't motoring as well as they were.
Agus an adóg séite ag an Maltóid an sa a bát go Croke mar a bhí mar an ráilid cór na bíthe ag tír O'Honell sa céad le agus iad trístóh a bheith an dédig a slídianta ar nas a chlucha iad có scór inis seach gólíní ag Corpaig héna ceithid ag Donegal.
Yes, well, in the opening minutes of that particular match, we thought Cork were going to absolutely pulverise Donegal. There's a slightly different complexion on it now, and an intriguing second half to look forward to. We're going to take a commercial break. When you come back to us again, we'll have not only that second half of that match, but we'll also be taking a look at some of the action from the game played earlier today. That was the minor hurling semi-final between Kilkenny and Derry. So join us again for that.
Cork had the forwards who were going to cut Donegal defence to ribbons, but it's changed around a little bit. But I suppose there's a significant wind advantage to Cork for the second half, and things would seem to be still very much in their favour.
Well, Colin will be joining Ger Canning for commentary on the main match a little bit later on. And what a game that is to look forward to, Colin. I'm sure you're enthusiastic about it yourself, as everybody is.
Well, it's nice to come to Croke Park and sit down and relax and watch a game for a change, because we've been here almost every Sunday now since June, and I favour Down insofar as I think they have a very good forward line, and I think there's very few backlines in the country are going to be able to handle them. Maybe now that spells the death wish for Down, me saying that they're going to win, but I must say I've been very impressed by them in the Ulster campaign.
You've had a good look at them also in recent times, because you played them in a league decider.
Yes, last year's league final we beat them by 2 points. We were slightly fortunate on the day. We got 2 goals. they scored all points and we still only won by a couple of points. So we were slightly lucky on the day, and that experience will have helped them quite a lot.
All right, Colin, for the moment it's the minors and of Cork and Donegal that we're concentrating on. Briefly before we hand back for commentary, who do you fancy?
I would have to fancy Cork, considering that there is a strong wind advantage in their favour now at this stage.
All right, Colin, thank you very much for the moment. We'll be hearing from Colin later on again. But right now it's time to go back to Lee Hall O'Shea and Donal O'Grady for a second half of the minor semi-final between Donegal and Cork.
Gur maithagad Michael agus tá an dá idir na moithir páirc agus mar a bhí bid a rá an son agus mar a bhí colla mór ruid go rá cór na gaoithe ige Corcaig mar sin siad Corcaig rán an údar fód fan a chluthasa a bhuachtant ach anachachtan ír dianta ige tír chonel mar a bhí Don lográd ará go mór sa chearú dearnach den immertin son dar nó bhí rána himar ige Corcaig a dús na himara ach gin tír chonel a slí reis na chluthe agus leis an gicéirice sin an sárci céirice ó bhat go bríl isteach go dtín gúine mar siad a cóscór agus túscor leis an agus Shahid tír chonel an ón fí déagláán ó bíl isteach go dtí Donal O'Grady para hagibert go macharí mach go bríl seansar a géad scóra go mach go háin leis deachasún cúil agus cúlaí le tír chonel Anna Hosnú ige tír chonel sa tarna le hagónal
Anna Hosnú ar fad Mihal, good score there by Mark Boy, but it was significant there that instead of trying to field the ball from the throw-in, the Donegal midfielders broke the ball away from Pat Haggerty and they won the ball, and the centre forward Donal Buggy is creating a lot of problems for Cork at the end of the first half, and again he made that score. Very good score for Donegal. Great start for the second half.
Marsin Donegal agus tús mai déanta chu iad mechan cín sa chluthe don giadúid agus níad mechach leanómat don tarna lech an Baltasan a ríist an Shellif fachta a moch a lá páirce chu agus seohen cartíanna déagláán ó bíl meachtain rutharaíann os na calabeaga déagláán an chosint déanta go maithaige Corcaig taigó ggólaínse taig inis lána na caide amach go dtí háda go maithúna ón déobsa ach an chaid imimeach haris a déobh líne mar sin kick sleasa go híomh chonel rindíireach híos fún an so agus a sé Damien ó David a hópaig in countsa Dominic O'David, Wittesteach agus Sárathe blian amar a chó iarach túd Sárathe agus inis seachún seamas ó ruáin go dtí Donal O'Grady Sárathe mar dyrás mar a bhí Donal O'Grady go rá ach an pasan chu múr fadige fachnó cileáin an san de Corcaig. Kick warada ó achna Steach go dtí ó Harachtáin go dtí ó Mahúna agus seohé Donal ó Mahúna an Tonadaí go dtí chuimhín ó Harachtáin seansar scór ach chuis sé góla díreach san am ceasta góna. That
was a promising move from Cork there. Donal O'Mahony won a good ball and pushed it forward to Kevin Harrington. No operating of it forward. This is Donal O'Mahony in possession here and holds the ball up well. Gives a lovely ball away into space and Kevin Harrington delays a little bit, but a good tackle here from the right half back, Damien Diver, and it screws away.
Marcus O'Brien an ón saoad a héad chonel ach builte go Corcaig brian ó Corcráin san de Corcaig brian amach go dtí Gleod Macóla dar a gin anna chosint ar fadóir sa chéad le Isiún a dhéireach colóruid go bhaint amach ach builte ige Padar McHenley bhóla na caide amach go dtí lád na páirce agus seohé déagláán ó Bíl isteach go dtí an son go dtí Cornelius O'Brien Shanson is Shiga Ronan McLaughlin and full ball reached and a happy amach Ronald went to her Nashiga good evening no Corkroin.
Good play by Donegal and just probably a foot too far ahead of Ronan McLaughlin there, but Donegal are contesting every ball now and their midfielders are very mobile and they're running at the Cork half-backs and putting Cork half-back down under all sorts of pressure.
Quiveen McItegon good Ronan McLaughlin Kalish in Ronan McLaughlin or counter or vast Eddie Hunnell counter amán éachta agus a sé Donal O'Grady ó bhealach seannig a hópaig an kicksair ar mór láidir gimerín le éúa bhealach seannig sné hópaig an kicksair dóibh agus dhéanach sé anna bhís neach a thuúrdóibh ach dul háchúlín chan cín ag duine Corcaí an naid na gaoithe sa tarna le drochíireacht ó Donal O'Grady go fóna.
That was a wasted chance now, but the wind is very strong and it's a bit swirly, so maybe that was his first chance for a kickable score against the breeze and maybe he didn't quite judge it, but there was definitely a chance gone a begging for Donegal. But this playing into the breeze might suit Donegal. They're not pumping in high ball, they're putting it in low, and sometimes against the breeze it can suit the team that are playing against it rather than the team playing with it.
Fivino dyd. Y bôl yn y cael ymach gyda'n gaptain Elin McCorrick. Ach i'r tŵd sarach. Ach marsin hyn. Cic tefline. Mae'r gymys i mach dy'r rhywun captain hir chonel yn bach captain i gymryd dyr y cael. Mach bys o bwyl agos Elin McCorrick. Bwyl tig y McCorrick. Agos Cork gach ydy'r nhw'n sig ach sarach. Yn son agos Fivin mach eich goen. A mach gyda Damien o David. Halais diant Damien. Agos cic sair no heged y hir chonel. E henig i hopig counter. Damien o ordracha. O drohiaracht o Damien. O vad roade. Het heeft al even disje. Cork gyda nhw'n sy'n ffachna o Clewin. Bôl na cael gyda bian o'r wed gach i mi roade o gos cadr mach yn le. O hadian am gymas y tarnale. Cosyn gymad y hir chonel. Gwan yn y cael. An y chongrocht yn dreflin agos Halais gan ein awr ysdiant yn son ega Cornelis o Brenain. Marsin, sneb Cornelis yn tar. Egin yn Halais agos Brian o mor o chw o chlan y ceilte a hopig yn fixer. Gwyltig y Brian ysdach o lor slig agos anach rhamwg y ffachno Clewan y rysg.
Beautiful feeling there again.
Ach drohi'r ach dwig agos sians yn son ega Fivin o galach oed. Gyda Ronan McLaughlin. Ronan agos eisiau diant ag ymach ag eich o cwlw siar dy chorpig Donlo Calachoen. Donlo Calachoen agos o hiach yn dyrys Ronan ach Ronan ymach ar eisiau deflin. Fig slasa. Efeg iawn dych chorpig ydyr yn mwyr rog o'r dy hir chonel. Fasyn bedr gyrbe Donlo Calachoen ach yr ymach y cawnsen. Sian o myti imr ymych. Gweltistach o gol hoedd rhan i chorpgarain. I begin throwed vrian more larger accounts on the wall of the Lord Park push a party on Mahona. Party of Valley Colleague and Atlish Gadas, Kalish Gented, again, Road Macuola, Agus Kick Serve no he, a party on Mahona. Party score all Cipolini, Sekirla, Agus Hukin, and I Kiri, a grave Canish, the moon, a Gilarne. Shediarigan, Carrow Town, and Ish, a rhyme show, and so. Ik wil heel erg kennis naar heden. Agus, wel, jouw rig, gemeder dat ik goed weet, dus dat had hij echt niet gehad. Als je niet echt voorin, het is een mooie rapporten.
Well, that was the indication there of how strong the breeze is. The ball dipped very, very quickly, and the backs were completely nonplussed by it, as were the forwards. It gathered speed. Watching it coming up now from Podimani. Good kick. Dropping just at the edge of the square, but it dipped very fast.
Agus
tipped away by the full back.
Agus an haid inis ige Elin McCorrick gyda Pori o Mahona gyda Donal o Mahona sianser sgôr ige Donal Loshley an y hôl o ffachtig agus welta bach gyda Marcus o Sullivan lagi ar o Marcus o'r hege adafnan o dyhostig Rist gyma adafnan o mach gyda Polo David cargwy dywyd a bôl o mach gyda Deglon o Bilos na Calabiogo Deglon agus Efevrw dyna ochr gohige dirig i chorod son a chai welta roadig a wel nil a si ffachtig a Donal o bogig yma dyna gos na hemidori sfiar dafel y cwyniw ei rwa fi Allah siarag yn achlis Donal o mach ffwl Gofoli agus Pats Anias gyda Seamus o Rwain o mŵr fad gyda Elin McCorrick captain Corky a gymryd rhaid hyn i mo agus Dimid Elin le Clis 3 Emilin Chele rhaid hyn i mo ffefrin agus fihe o fawn crifi ige le rhaid hyn i mo Rhaid o chwnta e Siahe Elin agus yn fixer bwylt anad ige gyda Cifin o Harachdoen ta bwytid ige Dara o Dwloen gyda Cifin o Galachoed ar nash gyda Dara inish gyda Donlo Bogig Tymid oed ysfawr o gyda'r chonel bedr i nhw Siahe i'r tar he Bach ys dige Donal o bwl ysdach gyda Cornelis o Brenain agus y drefs yn i'r fein o bwyl yn Gedlon ach ni wysau sy'n ymwneud eich bwl boed eich orfwy Cifin o ddydd yn i'r achton mi hymw hir chonel Anna chwal yn son ag Grod Macwolo Anna Spritz y fers agus briol eisiau fe hegwn sy'n Grod Macwolo dirig hir chonel y chyrir yn yw'n sy'n Sara het yn son ag Grod No bhirteach mará Damien O'Divir bhirteach mará a bhí dearg hí chunne le chaidir an saíoch sára hiigh gród mac cóla iad a bhile. Agus seo hé gród mac cóla. Kick Sayer an son de hír chunne chalís dinter bhí nó galachóid os na dúnta.
Well, Micheál, Donegal have been pressing the Cork defence there for the last 3 or 4 minutes, but what I noticed about them is their forwards are very static. They're inclined to just stand around and watch the man come through instead of breaking off to the right and left. And at one stage there we had their centre fielder Declan Ball running right through on the right hand side with nobody picking him up, and the ball wasn't transferred out to him. So they're bunching a bit, they're playing very far out from goal, and they're not moving enough.
Haigo Golin Chinish agus anna scóptaige fachtaige agus ó anna iarach dó Haigo agus decha John all ard Colleen is in the Corpig. Colleen chuid an Corpig ag cóscór le hí tír chunil tuaris é sin misneach the Corpig a
Fine score by Tygo Lynch there. Now Donald Buggy, the Donegal centre forward, is pulling him away out the field, and he just comes up to within the 50 and just has a cut and sends a lovely point over. Now Cork needed that badly because they were a point behind and they've now level proceedings.
Yemen ó rion inis beidir níos a hásta hálir a Devlíne trénálaí Corpaí ach seo tír chunil agus déagláán ó bíl. Déagláán agus an hatsin gramathe go deasagin Cornelius O'Brien a déirigí bholasteach díana Corcráine cóú an chaid churamach goí Rónán McLaughlin agus Dón Lo Calacháin ó Calacháin Corpaí a bóla na caide amach goí Gród Macóla iarach túd sáirithe. Mehishir Harish and Devlíne it Forín.
Jeremy McCullough there almost just resisting the temptation to grab it again after he had hopped it for the second time, but it shows the extent of the pressure on Cork. But Donegal are staying miles out too far. They're not coming in behind the defence at all.
Agus onodí takehe edibord ke Sean O'Buig takehe edibord ke enát Eamon McManaman. Eamon McManaman mehemarsin agus Sean O'Buig takehe edibord ke na áit da hír chunil. Éno met diag imre mehe. Corpige cosan seohe captain Eileen McCorrick. Eileen Post wilte machige agus sáirithe go deasan sanna go déagláán ó bíl seohe déagláán. Déirigh meachtasteach talís dianta Géagláán thug bhéidir is dachad amach chun gól ag bine na gaotha. A néideog le tír chunil an ceansa chur Haris a drasnáán. Weil ní thuirigh an chuí éon cháis do Pólo Calacháin, Pólo ha teacht amach a déireann, weil tá sé bhat a bhistí den lína thug bhéidir is dachad. Inis agus buite go tapaige go dtí Damien O'Divir an fargar brála sé bhí dul in onsaí ceanníos an bhuiig siúd ach gan éon sannach Eileen McCorrick. Hénig a ríist de bolla na caidisteach agus sára heistig ag Brianó Corcráin. Brianó Corcráin agus anna chosanta a dhéanam de Corpigige. Agus sehé Píbín ó galachóir de hír chunil os na dúnta. Bidí Rónán McLaughlin. Rónán inis sé déir glód McCóla chunta. Rónán amach leis an chaidig ag a fóil. Rónán a láslí builte go deasige bidí déagláán ó bhuií níthe an achtasteach an son. Damien O'Divir ábhar in roiad at play seohe Damien ó Ardarahan fargar brála sé bheitthe dul in onsaí. Bhí ard chluthe ar fadig a siúd an aig an chaváin agus bhí sé rás an aig híróin chuma I milín sé le sin siad Ardaraha agus
lovely play here from Donegal, who this ball swung across from the left and Damien Dever had a good shot. He did it seconds beforehand and clipped the ball along the ground, but he had to go there. He was a bit unlucky to have left.
Oscar Fimshecht ng Leontas, Bralis dollar in onsaí, Gashakara le hagat Shane in onsaí, Donald O'Bugy, Donald Lashley, chance of score against the Colleen against Donald O'Bugy, and the Colleen and Trio Town again the heat funnel.
Good score by Donald Buggy there, went through and was confident enough to have a go. But that, there he is now on the run. And Cork defence really not being able to keep up with him, and on the 21-yard line, 20-metre line, he has a cut and just sails over the bar. But that all came from a breaking ball around the middle again, and Donegal are getting in top in this sector.
Marshall gan Corpig gimmert chomach agus a tarnala, well sa chiad chearú an tarnala herénos agus a viidir sa chiad le se Donald O'Bugy ríist, Brianó Corcráin istig agus Brian na cosintí mehewig, Donald Calacháin teachta gaudir, se Donald teachta mach le se gaid agus calís diantar Donald kicksair de Corpig. Kick mór ard ó Donald agus Bachno Kileoin, Mehewig reached. Augustan Moltoid, kind of high the Flabber Stachanson, Deglan O'Bweel, Capture Hain, Gordina Kalisha, and High Kaitan Order again Moltoid. August Anna Hongracht and Devline, Mehmach Harish, Devline, Hick Tevline, the Heath Connell. Hick Tevline, the Heath Connell is Dolem Shack.
Well, there's a lot more ball breaking around the middle of the field now. The two Cork midfielders, Pat Haggerty and Faulkner Collins, aren't exerting such a grip as they had in the first score.
Padder McKinley, Calmore, Padder, Sarah Hansen, Gadassi, Gnod McCool. So Hag Gnod. Agus Winter Stack Gadas and Son, again McCool. Good Sean de Barod, or Roy de William, Master Stack and Hyde Mehe Ocean. Agus Fixer, Alm, here Connell, Kalish and Son, Diented, Fabino, Galahoid. So it's like Caro, the Clegg, Emma Mehe.
Well, Sean Barrett here with a good run. Took a bit much out of the ball. I think he had a chance here to let the ball in and he kept going with it. And number 5 stayed on him very well. And as the ball broke back to the left half back, Kevin Gallagher, Sean Barrett was laid him in his leg there. Watch it here now. That's it. So that takes all the pressure off the Donegal defence again.
Hatchin Gwyntamach agus Fachtanson agus Sean de Barod reached. Derek Corpig a Chadir in Unsay. Kalish Elliot at Fabin or Galahoid and Son. Cardan Unsa, Kupla kicks here. Hochtoch, Gohege, the Heath Connell. Agus and Baltason and Tonadi. Sean O'Buig, Virginia Kalish. Martin. Chief Connell, agus the end of the gamers to Vadnis on the move, Vadnis Bridul, so Tarnala, no more wieder, the second Kietla, that no, you either the Genomati Jerry, the Kietla, Edaus, Homa, and I Corky, agus Inish, 2 smart for a collision Tarnala Havona.
Well, Cork have just introduced substitute Finbar Manny, who's a big lad instead of Donal Manny, and they've moved him in full forward and brought Kevin Harrington in the left corner. But they're definitely struggling. And if Donegal can tack on a point or two, Cork will be in real trouble.
Hatchin, Bultamakadi, Lord Portke, agus Winchi Shin, Skipper here on Dollar, Head and Moltoid, Winchi, Super here on Dollar, get Deglan O'Brien. Martian kicks here, the Fodrigo Hagerstick. The Stachanson, Gideon Gooney, Polo Ruick, or Wolamakadi, Party on Mahona. Chancige Party, Roade at Haven Live Edition.
Possibly he might have been better to swing the ball across there and leave it into the 14-yard line in front of the goal. Very difficult angle to score from with his right foot.
Gino Mathidiak, Focke, Sikhiedla, agus Tíl chuna le gimmert, gynnin y gwyhe, ach iad gimmert gymach a lor na hwydig as iad colin contusig, ach sio hefach no cleoin. Ydy'r corpig a chyrir yn o'n sy, ach a rysg Sarah Henson. Agus coimert iast o hyd chuna le gyda Polo Calachoin. Polo Calachoin gyda yn ddefsag yn boed. Ach Donal o Calachoin i gramwn y caidig ymad a corpig. Agus a bwla gyda Polo Rwyd. Ach ta Witte, et Polo Rwyd. Agus Kalish dianta yn son, et Polo David. Polo David. Chwydowyd, Kalish dianta siwd. Ar y restalain ar y bobl sgwyl, yng Nghyddwyd dar no. Bond Polo Sinsir le Nghyddwyd choma, agus Mac le Siosef yn rawnwyd. Witte siach ag siwd gyda Ronan McLaughlin. Ronan McLaughlin, ond gawntor am honna uchtach ag. Ymwrt gymahansad ys na Peledwydi, gyda Siemas o Rwain. Siantar sgôr ag y Siemas, Polo Bwyntig yn Gawnson, Donal o Calachoin yn son. Na feheg dy chorpig agos glant gymach ag. Ond fostach tas na hytit am yn tohenis y bod dy chrwpig. Fi eisiau briod sim gydisa, ac siachwyn rysg. Deglan o Bwyl, Deglan o hag ymwrt i'r awstwyd. Ystachanson gyda Sean o Bwig. Sean o Bwig yn tynnu ddi, Siantar sgôr ag y Sean. Ei henig yn eich ystach gyda'r agos sefyl Kalish diantar, iaw roch gywyl. Ac ni len adog sietig yn moltwyd, agos cicymach. Right yn biad sy'n letir chonol y dir na gonol. No'n redd.
Little harsh, I thought, really on Sean Boyce there, but I wasn't sure whether he had tapped the ball twice or not, but he was definitely tripped. I thought he should have got a free in.
Martian and Counson, Bwyltamach ag Taigo Golinche, agus Shahe, Podrigo Hagerstig. Stachanson, a Lashley, good evening Barra, Mahona, Kennedy Hannig at the board, Kevis kicks there the hot Pigginson, Team Pele Overdien Björk, Beden Meder, Tamudan, no goed, en Queen had a lean of good weather as that. Agus Donal Buggy gemacht in der Eveline, keine Leivini Roll. An Heid Overdien Schlauen nicht. Und I don't get Cork and score Horamu. Pivino Harachtain, Lena Kitoik, Agus Wiltilena Roranatson, Agus Chancig Party on Mahona, go hard, the forward coast goal.
Well, Colleen Brown, Chin, or Paddy Manny and Chin, Cork kept the ball and play well. Switched their place kickers, Kevin Harrington took the kick, and they moved the ball well. Paddy Manny now just slipping the ball over. Got a good ball back from Paul O'Rourke, and nice score.
Agus sinné chearú Colleen godísa ge Paddy for sé chucín and I get here a brave na moon. The forward it co-score agus Genomati Parker chief Hannah in on sea agus Shahe Shimas O'Roin or Wundoroin and Mehema Harish Devline and Hemas near the Talish and Balpison. Briano Corkroin, Farhig Deglano Boil, Harnashkudi, Brianna reached. Brian Gudi, Padrick O'Hagerstig. Padrick, Kugweather Stahat, Harnashkudi, Briano Corkroin. Briano Corkroin, a wake trophy Christy Ring. And come on, it's fell a good quick face, shame, Liana Diak, Lively, no, in the Stackedy, Polo Ruid, Gudi, Finbaro Mahona. Oh, Gudi in the long holy Dishel, Donal or California, if you on the Donal. Harrison Lina at 4 inch, and long holy Dishel.
Well, a lovely run by Donal O'Callaghan, came up on the right hand side of the pitch and Cox switched the ball over to him. Good run and a good shot, but just tail off to the right and wide.
Emilian Donal Douglas, the Shavit in the Divana, Hagasle, Old School Corky, we shall give Krishna Freshers, the Renos and Lena. And Hyde Weltamach with the Lord Pocket, I've been the Old School again. Agus Shahe, Road Macuolo. Stach against Finbaro Mahonanish against Roe Happig and Baltus Bede the Honel.
Well, Cork have taken over a little bit in the last 2 or 3 minutes and they've missed a couple of chances. With the scores are level, Mihal, and well, it's still anybody's game.
On the Chloe, it is a walk on the mail, Maradir Donal, yet a hand have a walk and foes. Och no mate Gillian no Martian Parker. Agus the phone at Koharak. The Nano Doherty, Gillian the Green, Hagas Anakamu and Son Reach to get Pachno Kiloin. Pachno Kiloin, a house on air. Anna Ord and Counting Wiltana Ortige, Podigo Hagertic, Fenabun. May have worked back to get Finbaro Mahona and Carna Shansigari Paddy on Mahona. Kalish dented Paddy on Mahona. Agus Martian kicks there the hot big agus Dishinish Paddy on Mahona. And Kuyu Colina Hoyle, Agus Corpig, Beder Rodney the Hochty, Corpig a Corkin Keen, Agus team play, Och Nomati Falker Honel.
Well, there was no real danger there, Mihal, as the ball broke and Donegal player committed a foul and Finbaro Manny. Really, it amazes me why players give away frees directly in front of goal when the forwards have no work to do. Simple chance, tapped over the bar, and instead of making them work for their scores. Cork have now taken over, lead by 10 points to 9. And really, Donegal should have been keeping the pressure on Cork and have now lifted it, and I think Cork are in the driving seat now.
Maradir Donal, a gown thought to Hankeen against the Corpig, against the Hookie and the Folini, I'm sure he get Paddy on Mahona, and Rodas Corpig, the will Corpig, Meher Hankeen, Agus team play Shaq Nomati, Gillian O'Martian Falker, Shahe Sean de Barod, and Horna Kaidagud, Pachtige Sean, Agus Ishin Dienta Gadasige, a Machdish, Agus Derek Chancelis, score all of Rahu, the Corpig, Agus the Henig, Sean de Barod, a ball at the Kaide, a Machanson, with the Pivino Harachtoin. No, Marcus O'Sullivan again, Harrison Drasnom, Pivino Harachtoin, if you own Catgalore. Martian Colleen Anna Hochtach and Son, no, Ige, Pivino Harachtoin, Agus Remission, Ige Paddy on Mahona, the Hotpig, Rochulin Anna Hochtach, he had the Rochulin Hankeen in the Sharonal. Shahedi Glano Boyle, Agus Chill Connelly, Derek Tatarnash, Sara Higadasaka, Aline McCorrick, Derek Hotby, I didn't know see. Pivino Harachtoin reached to Shelib na Kaide, Agus Kalish Diantet Pivin and Son, Ige Padder McKinley.
In the last 2 or 3 minutes there, Cork have been in the ascendancy, and if Paddy Manny can turf this ball over the bar, they'll have gone to 3 points up in 2 minutes, and I think really they're beginning to grab this game by the scruff of the neck, and I can't see Donegal coming back into it now.
Shane O'Matty Falk agus mar a deir Donal machar an pádi a mahón an count a harris a drasnán beg tí Colini idir na fórne agus dis de fádi a héú Colín a raimsúnsa sa chluhile canis pádi agus an count an builte isteach a Joe an chúlige ávidín built sí an poladéirn agus sára hérénos agus plantamach harris an daibhlíne mar sin bhí dis vascóráil an sunna pádi a mahóna ach pepéid Colín a raimsú mar sin héin Corpig ar an únsaí a ríist an Baltasa Pádraig go hégartaigh a hópaigh an chic taobhlíne bhfuilte anna bhór ar cléige agus siar haris an líne cúil ar seacharán. Donegal agus iad ráchólín chan dédig ach bhíad ar ráchólín chan dédig an naig hídón agus gan fácach cúpla nómut nuair a gaidig leth cic Pinóis cic éirice a scóráil agus an son chormig tíróin na scóran an son chuid Marcus O'Brien Colín na búad a híd chonalin do sé ar neista chluhasa sin íon fist an chaitcin hir róád an son i g cuimín macaite gáin agus disfa híd chonala chur ar an ónsaí imithe chur amúige agus an ónad siad Corpig agus pádi a mahóna a bheith ar an ónsaí.
Well, that was very poor support play out of Donegal. They left Kevin McGettigan completely isolated. Nobody came around behind him to take the ball from him, and Cork got an easy free.
Seo pádi a mahóna Stachadjo i mulna cear nóige agus sáirithe istíigh an son ag an lámpólaí agus calaístíon teid mar sin kick séir gnóthaithe ige de híd chonal. Gan fácha inis ach timpeallaí chéireann O'Matty ghuileann ó mar sin agus ionadaí eile teachta de bord de híd chonal is tólam gur bé Antoine Macra ach seo hé tír chonal idir an ónsaí Aline McCarrig an chaid mí huaig Bhíon ó corcoráin a facha teachtamach anna ceann caide agus anna ceann amánaíocht ar bhríon agus calaístíon teid tar mór láidin agus binne cosint anna háchtach de Corpig in count on the Ronald.
Well, a very important interception first by Alan McCarthy, who managed to get his hand to the ball, and once the ball has come to Brian Coughlin today, he shows great confidence. An old head really for a minor, very confident in the ball, holds the ball up well until he's sure of what he wants to do with it, and once he got the ball I think the pressure was lifted from Cork.
Marsin Antoine Macra inish ó chuman é ruavéala haseannig take in the board the híd chonel ach seo Brian Corcoráin a cosintóid bhfuilteiste agus fachtan ag déagláán ó Bílan a gimmert go maith lá páirce do híd chonel Evrú an Baltasan ó chuimhín ó Harachtáin agus kicksair gnóthaithe isteachnis gurí séamas ó Ruáin ach bhuiiteide go Brian Corcoráin Cornelius O'Brienáin a déirigh an countsan a countú agus imimeach ó Ronald O'Buggy Harris and Devline Brian Corcoráin and hostal is against him.
Great play again from Brian Coughlin, did everything right, took the man and left the ball on over the line. Great play.
Aline McCarrig, Cork and son, le Marcus O'Brien. Heide de Dalov go fóil, but the Stachel Lost League is Shahe, Damien O'David and Farger Braulish Gullid in Unsay, Shahe Damien, and Mathlish in Unsay reached. Shelliv na caide go fóil, cad a dhéana sin is go híseal. Agus Brian O'Mara chún san de Chorpig, mé hehuaig agus bhuilte ábhidín róhapig an sunna ge Ronan McLaughlin, Harris and Líne 8-4 real. Dishma for a múige Ronan.
Well, Dishma hinted me all because Ronan McLaughlin had plenty of time. He could have picked up the ball and he would travel a few yards with it, and there was two other Donegal players in support. That was definitely a great chance because Cork were 2 points up only, and it is a dangerous lead at any stage.
Agus an bháiste chu titim go trám in is a Ronan.
It's getting very slippery now, rain just teeming down. Will make it difficult for the senior game. This game is almost over, but will still be difficult. A lot of players no gloves on.
Níl deile dúna á fós á fach Shahe, Marcus O'Brien, Mathlish, Ruharainer, Calish Ginted Varkas, Council Butchestack, Sheamus O'Rowan, Shahe, Sheamus and Mathlish, chance of goal, and it's against Team Holland, on Hawaii against the goal by Shahe, Deglán O'Brien, on Farlor Portke, no, on Farlor to Sachanis, Sheamus O'Rowan, Donald O'Buggy, because Goday, Yerachtia, Yanavagatir Holland, the Wilshire, and Will Calish Ginted Donald O'Buggy, and Bautas and Goody, Sheamus O'Rowan, and it's kicking off and then way. Well, right than me all, 18 Holland and Bautas and the Sana Hossin Tintig and Portke. Ronald Dolum go make loch tapich here Connell Rohasta and so not where that kicks higher.
Well, a great defence first by Kevin Dwyer, the keeper. He came out very well on Sean Boyce, and John Boss, I think, would have been better off to take this ball on a step, and he just stood there and Kevin Dwyer managed to block the ball. But it was exciting stuff. Donegal really were closed out by Cork defence. Nobody again came around to take the ball from the player in possession, and I think Cork's defence stood firm.
Iman O'Ryan and son, I'm here on board. Kagas say Corlaisha Horizon or California. Iman Trainoli, Corby Darno. Agus Shahib Podrigo Hager to get Corby, I guess my Yadin the Hokolina Hollis. Well, Dirn Gabine, Podrigo Hager to get Maclish. What is that? Funbara, on Son Mahonige, Funbara, and Emil the Carnoige. Agus Bultamaka shoot, Shahid Lano Breen, Cousin Toyd here Funnel, Amachgari Polo Calafine, Pole Initiative Council, Pole Yemidin Rugger, come on the Carrigadoi, Wiltiga shoot, Agus Tid Funnel, and Iraq Yernach Wahasud Bed, the Shans Dernach Shamasoro wine, Emihamo, Kaigo Golinche, Hotby, a ball on the Kaidigadin, Devs on board, Pachtige Polo Ruick, Podia Mahona, Poimer Yasso Hotpick. Neil Wahan Haidach now the Nish, the Devs on board, he hooked lower, he wall a night, he won it for him. Walter Stachanson, Joe the Carnoige, Teal Funnel, Fevru, a Markedy, Padder McKinley, Schnee Padder and Harrua, Lena Kitoig, a Derek, he wall a Machach Sorhig, Podrigo Hagerstick, a Bolastach, Agus the Kalish, Denton Sonnet, Lawn Foley, here Funnel, Dara O'Doline. Well, Tana Genomati Fihid, agus Lanomet, the Kush, Emmer Mehensa, about the Croke, agus Win Hanavi to Funnels, that Wahila Canish, the Glen Lady Kregashe, very wood late Tremora, agus Lady Ochtau Coig, and Vien Dernach, a Wallet of Hain, agus Corpic, like Agus Tarnobian, Boyga Corpic, Mashin, Tepehe, Edvenod, Hotby, Crevna Hayden, the Hecanish, and the Creevy, Eventamach, Gafoil, Podia Mahon, the Hotby, a ball on the Kaide Istach, and Sungri, Marcus O'Sullivan, agus Chancer scoring a Marcus, Overdin, Road, at here no love clay. I had counts and baited for my last score, Ronald.
Well, come on, let's score Kintamay Hall, because really the place to do is to put the ball out of play, because I think now the referee will probably blow for time up.
No material, they hit Emmer Mehin, no material question, because the reached Lord Portke, Pachno Kiloin, Anak Yamusa Nairiga Shoot, Anak Wallace Fadgadi, Podrigo Hagerstick, Podrigo Mactastach, Podrigo Fowl, Farhana Shayan, Agus Shin Anna Holy in the Hotpick, Podrigo Hagerstick, as well, Dirn Gabine, Ronald O'Hare Hotby.
Well, that must be it now, Hall. 3 points up. Great run there by Pat Hegarty, very strong. Knocked defenders out of his way and stick the ball over the bar. Here he is.
Agus Nomad Gully le push Imara and Adol
and just tap the ball over the bar here. Great score. Justin Shin.
Agus Shine Crave, Lekanish, Hayden, Gwitty, Ege Corpig, Minod Corpig, Marshin, Evi Grave, Lekanish, all out of the Svehe, Hannah Heinig, well, Ed Bokach, Ehe Hunnel, Te Hunnel, Edirik, Crave Canish, Hayden, I went to Mach, then Gedo Rave, Achepihara, and I Te Hunnel. On score, Corpig, Wahulin Deer, Te Hunnel, Cole, Agus Shea Colini, both the Shea Colini, Marshin, Ege Corpig.
Yes, you have to say Cork deserved to win that one, but Donegal did have their chances and they'll rue some of those misses in the second half. But it's Cork that are into the All-Ireland minor final then. Who'll be joining them from the senior game from this first Sunday in the All-Ireland football series? Will it be Kerry? Will it be Down? You'll find the answers to that shortly. Right now we're going to take a commercial break.